So what was it like to be able to write something that was historical but not historically accurate? Was that quite a fun liberation after Horrible Histories?
Yeah. I mean, Larry did most of the writing on Horrible Histories. No, I mean, you did a lot of the writing. I didn't write so much on that.
I sort of wrote 300 plus sketches over the time that we did it. So, and it was brilliant writing like that. Writing like that was fantastic, and having the kind of you just finding the structure and the jokes, but having the backbone of it there. But for a film, because trying to write a fun, functional, multi-character caper that works is sort of so difficult. I think if we'd have even considered making it factually accurate, it just would have fallen over itself.
Yeah, you have to veer off the fact anyway, because it wouldn't suit story. I mean, Shakespeare did that, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think we kind of tried to have a very factual backdrop. The world's very real. And as I say, the bookends of the film, the Shakespeare's early life and where he ends up, are real, but everything between it was nice to experience, be able to just write anything, be completely free to just go, what's the funniest thing? That was our only constraint.
So how did the writing process work? Were you always in the room together, or did one of you take one scene, one another?
No, we were in the room together. We hired an office in Croydon.
Beautiful Croydon.
Because that's equidistant from our two homes, but we spent a long time getting the story right, and then we sat in an office for 3 weeks and did the first draft, which was hugely long and probably a really good case study for what not to do on your first screenplay. Yeah, it was
about 150 pages. But I mean, the good thing was, because we spent so long it kind of interrogating the plot and all of our ideas before we even started writing. We got that draft done in 3 weeks, and we had such good fun writing.
Yeah, it was great. But actually, looking back, the sort of basic structure still survives, but I think there's only like elements of one or two scenes that are still absolutely from that
there are some
which
are unchanged, but our first draft had like 7 different writers in it, from the period, and then
it was like
we realised that Marlowe was probably enough.
Yeah.
And some very good notes. BBC Films were involved really early on, and they were really, really friendly and nice about it, but sort of went,
probably
it's great, but not all that.
Probably just put that in the bin and then start again, probably.
Okay, so when you read that early script, are there often fights over who gets to play what character, or do they kind of have it in mind already?
They had us pretty much marked down for the parts that they sort of suited to our skills.
The lead.
They know what we can do. Martha can play a woman really well.
Thank you. Second Jim.
that was the real wrestle. Who was going to play Anne?
Yeah, Jim really wanted to, and then you had to give up that fight, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to just leave it. But they were the architects as far as the principal characters are concerned. So we sat around and they gave us the parts that we would play that day, and all the other little parts we would just get according to who was available, who wasn't in the makeup chair, because I think we could all play each part really. So that's what's nice about.
I could have been man on the toilet.
You could have been man on the toilet. I could have been sausage guy.
I wouldn't done it if I'd have done it as well as you.
You wouldn't have fit it. You wouldn't have got through the hole. My legs barely got through the hole. Like they made this. So there's a scene in the film where I have to revolve on a toilet, and they cut a hole in the wall for me to go around, but it just missed my knees by about an inch, and I'm a munchkin anyway.
There's no way this
so you'd never have got in, mate. Darth Vader.
Not with these femurs.
Not with these femurs.
Not with these tibias.
Mammoth femurs.
Great. And how much? Obviously, you have a lot of fun together. So how much ad-libbing ended up in the final film, or was it all pretty much scripted?
We couldn't really deviate that far from the script itself, just because we didn't have the time, and it was the film was the story was so slick and everything was so tight. I think it would have been a shame. You can see where we have there's a few moments,
a few bits
where having fun,
where we have a bit of fun, but it wasn't like kind of like a sketch show vibe, if that makes any sense. But it wasn't
like
free.
Go on, let's do a take where you just make it up. It wasn't really, because film is so sort of structured. You there's things that you have to do, accomplish.
You have to be
scene.
professional.
And so, yeah, there's always bits and bobs, but they weren't sort of, whole new made up bits. They were just embellishments.